And I'm Heather Branch here with Mike talking about the things you can be working on now as you get closer to your retirement goal line. You want to know that you can cross that line with confidence because you've got the plan in place.
Breaking the
And
tape, just
dun, 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 dun,
put your head across the line.
dun.
Very, very appropriate for the season we're coming into at the Olympics.
Yes, that's
Cross
right.
retirement.
Do you wait real quick? Let me let you know that you can find
We're
us
going off
anytime.
script 28 seconds in.
I know.
I love
It's
it.
all off the rails.
Yep.
MichigansRetirementCoach.com is where you can go to get started with Mike and his team about your retirement questions, getting to work on your plan, putting a plan in place, all of the things. We also have links posted in the show notes. Or again, visit us at MichigansRetirementCoach.com. We actually are going to talk about
If you like what we do, also like and subscribe because we'd love to be able to
Thank
get
you.
content to you more often. So like and subscribe. That way, whenever we put out new content, you'll see it right away. And
on our
you'll be aware.
YouTube channel.
On the YouTube channel.
Search Michigan's Retirement
Follow us
Coach
on Spotify.
YouTube. There's lots of ways.
All the ways.
We can reach you via the digital interwebs. Yeah. We are going to talk about sports, as we love to do, and retirement strike zones.
Yep.
I want to get into the conversation about Angel Hernandez. If you're a baseball fan, you just moaned. But wait, so the Olympics are coming up.
Yep.
Or do you guys watch the Olympics? Some people I feel like aren't that into it. I'm into it.
We're big into the summer ones. I think that's the studies though. Like everybody's big into the summer ones, and only northern people, like Canadians, are into the winter ones. But we're big into them. We love them. Very excited.
Yeah. I've loved Michael Phelps, I feel like, since forever. So since he's retired, I'm not as into it, but I'm hoping for because I love swimming.
There's a 16-year-old kid who made the track team. And
I saw about him.
Dynamic, and he is so much fun. Now, he wasn't the fastest guy,
but
it's
just like he's
16.
Young. He's like is he the new Michael Phelps? Is he the guy that we can watch for years to come?
Remember Michael Johnson?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the gold shoes.
With the gold shoes.
Because he runs the same races, the 200 and the 400. The kid runs the same races.
Got it.
So, and he's little. He's short. So it's not like some like freakishly. It's not like Michael Phelps. You're like he's physically, dynamically built to be a swimmer.
For this.
No, this kid is like 5'7", 5'8". He's short. Don't quote me on that. But he's very short compared to the competitors. Yeah. And his little legs are just going, and his arms are
like
going.
Like Fred Flintstone in the car.
And I feel like every other runner's like this, and he's like his arms are kind of wide. And
he's
so much fun to watch.
Okay.
He gives a good storyline.
Yes.
Everybody loves
Which is what, at the end of the day, I feel like is the stories of the athletes not at least 50% of the joy of watching it.
Yeah.
Speaking of joy of watching, or not so much joy.
Or what sucks the joy out of watching something.
Just sucks the pleasure out of the game.
Very personal topic to me.
Baseball fans, gather around and let's discuss the future. The whole idea about strike zones and umpires. I think it's part of the fun of the game. Like hating on that ump. Hating on that bad ump. No, you disagree? That look on your face.
If you're getting the calls, it's fun. But really what any athlete wants is a level playing field. I know we're going to take out like the random cheaters. All I want as a pitcher or a catcher or a hitter is just to know the strike zone.
That's right.
That's all I want.
Got it. Because I think how much longer until umpires are replaced by robots and computers, which I think will take out some of the fun of the game. I mean, because the human element is what, anyways, the human element in the way of Angel Hernandez was not something that people liked.
Not good.
So he has been called the worst umpire in the major leagues and accused of blowing far too many calls outside the strike zone and on base. If I'm being totally honest, and I'm an MLB fan, I'm a big Braves fan. So, but I'm not super familiar with Hernandez. I guess.
So he is the worst umpire in a long time.
That's the story.
And he is tough to watch because he just has this like, I'm going to say this nicely, like this like dumb stoic look on his face when he's wrong, where people come up and say, you're wrong, this and that. And he just kind of has like this blank stare and he's like, nope, I'm right.
I don't care.
And the video reviews on him, I believe it was one inning where there was 3 consecutive wrong calls overturned by review.
Ooh, that's painful.
And he just stood there with his hands in his
they
pocket.
They were overturned?
Overturned. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
And where everyone, he stands there and goes, like whatever. Like it's no big deal. And it is a big deal because this is players' livelihoods. Like, if you throw a pitch and the guy hits a home run off of it because you got a strike 3, it wasn't called a strike 3. the next pitch, the guy hits out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you were someone who's right on the edge of a major league contract. You're right on the edge of making the team. And all of a sudden you're off the team.
Yep.
Because this guy stinks.
This guy. It wasn't you as a player. It wasn't your fault. This umpire messed the whole thing up.
When I coach, I refuse to get into refs because I hold the kids accountable and I hold our team accountable above all else. However, this guy's professional.
Sometimes.
This isn't the guy making $40 refereeing our kids' 12U game. This guy is a professional umpire full-time.
Not anymore. He's retired.
Not anymore.
To the happiness of many player and fan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you talk about being a coach. Michigan's retirement coach is the surname you've been dubbed and taken on. So what I wanted to ask you about is the idea. I bid you adieu, sir. What I wanted to ask you about is the idea of strike zones for retirees.
Yeah.
And what we should prepare to face so that we don't make the wrong calls in that space. Because there are specific areas, these strike zone areas to note.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's certain things, like I said, we just want to know the rules and we want to be able to play to win inside of those rules. And so when you're going into retirement, a lot of times people talk about their retirement accounts as their retirement. Like if I say, let's talk about your retirement, they set down a fidelity statement and say, here's my retirement. So that's an account. That's one of the tools. That's like saying, here's my bat. And you say, all right, well, what type of hits are you trying to do? Or what's your offensive strategy? I have a bat. The bat by itself doesn't do anything. So what we want to do is make sure we cover all these areas where we don't make the wrong calls. So the first one we'll make sure we make the right call on is income planning. Do I know exactly how, when, and where I get my income? Do I know how it's taxed? Do I know if that income source causes other elements of my retirement to be taxed? Do I know what happens to that income in an inflation period where inflation goes way high? Do I have enough to survive long term? So the first strike zone is that you cannot miss out on is income planning. The second one is risk management, because in retirement, there's a lot of different elements of risk management. Whether we talk about, because risk management includes insurances like your Medicare and homeowners and all these different things, but it also includes in your portfolio, am I invested appropriately for being 65 or 70 versus when I was 50 or 45? Am I still all at risk, assuming the market will do well? Or have I pared down my risk because this phase of my life is different and it becomes more about the return of my money than the return on my money? And that's a different model. So the second strike zone to make sure you hit correctly is risk management, appropriate for you and your family, not specific to the advisor or just sake of ease.
Okay.
The third one to make sure you look at when you build a whole roadmap, a whole game plan, is to understand your investments. The way I'm invested, not from a risk perspective, but from a quality of investments.
That's different than risk. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, you can have a non-risky investment that's garbage. It's high fees. It has no liquidity. There's things like that. There's other ones where you can say, I have a completely liquid, low fee investment, but it's a terrible investment. So we just want to make sure that it's appropriate. A lot of times we get these portfolios and I say, well, to make sure I'm protected, I'm going to get a bunch of different mutual funds. And then we don't realize that those mutual funds, even though you have 20 funds, they all hold majority of the exact same positions. So we feel like we're diversified, but we're not. And having a good comprehensive understanding of how we're invested, because one of the biggest frustrations people come in with is my portfolio is doing this and I don't understand it. Why is it that the whole world's getting record highs and mine isn't? Or why is it that the world is, at least experiencing something and I'm down? So that lack of correlation. I thought I was safe because I had 20 investments, but yet when the market dropped 20%, I dropped 20%. I thought this diversification was supposed to help me.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the big ones. So again, start with income, risk, investment quality. Then we want to make sure we look at taxes, because life is about what you keep, not what you make. We live our lives in the net. You get a gross paycheck, but you live on the net. You have investments that go out and earn rates of return, but yet you get the net of them. If you have portfolios that are traded intra-year versus long-term, IRAs, Roth, trust accounts, they're all treated differently in the tax world. And to understand that taxes can be one of the greatest liabilities or opportunities in your portfolio. So understand that taxes play a major role, and sometimes making a 1 or 2 degree shift in your tax strategy, looking forward for the next 10, 15 years, can be a $1 million difference. And you don't even change the investment, just how and what type of account it's invested in. The last one is estate planning and legacy, making sure that all of your hard work for all of these years, we save, we defer, we earn money, put it away so one day we can live off of it. And then what if we don't spend it all? How does it pass on to the next generation? Does the government get to come in and take a cut just because we didn't file some paperwork properly, because we didn't retitle beneficiaries, or because we needed a trust and we didn't use one? Other times we get a trust, but it never was funded properly. So even though you have a trust, again, it's like this big savings account that you never put any money in. So as a result, there's nothing there. And then you pass, and then all of your stuff goes through probate. So a lot of that can be avoided with proper estate planning. So income, risk, investment quality, taxes, and estate plan. That's the 5 major strike zones of a quality retirement roadmap. And at michigansretirementcoach.com, we encourage you, click the button that says start your retirement roadmap today, and we will address those 5 areas to make sure that you don't make the wrong call in your retirement.
All right. And obviously, I mean, this sounds great and tidy and neat, but does everybody you meet in your office need when they come to you and they have, I guess they have their BAT, right? They have their 401k statement. How often is everybody you see need all these 5 things, or do some people have some already? Or is it just because they've been working and saving and going through that phase of life for so long, now they get here and it's just that you have to kind of wipe the slate clean, right? And rethink the whole approach for retirement.
Yeah. Some things are a review or a refresh. Other things are a restart.
Okay.
And so it can be challenging. I had someone who came in just not too long ago, and as we went through her portfolio, she goes, well, I've been with this big brokerage house, but it's a local advisor for a big brokerage for the last 35 years. Wow. And she goes, as we went through, and I'm like, all right, well, here's the 5 strike zones. And she goes, all we've ever talked about is my investments and risk. That's it. Yeah. Yep. As we went through and mapped out taxes, there's a lot of opportunity to do some tax harvesting and different strategies. And as we went through, and she goes, wait, advisors can't talk about taxes or estate plans. I said, I'm a CFP, a certified financial planner. We can talk about these things all day long. And we went through and started mapping it out, and it changed everything. To now she came to the point of saying, my retirement is more important than just my stocks and my risk.
That's right.
And we mapped out a plan for that. So when she came in, again, she came in as a referral, but people come in all the time. They click on michigansretirementcoach.com, click on the button that says start your retirement roadmap. Yeah. And from there, we address the issues. Whether it's a refresh or a restart, at least you have the information to make good decisions.
Got it. Getting to work, helping you determine that you have these areas covered. And sometimes more. Sometimes that's the thing about having a customized plan, is that it's about what you need, what for the years ahead, what your family needs, all these kinds of things, and what Mike and his team are here to help you figure out in a plan of your own. So again, if you would like to get started on your complimentary review, visit us at michigansretirementcoach.com. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there, or again, find us anytime, michigansretirementcoach.com.